You know the feeling, right? You've done all this incredible work, you've dug through the data and found these amazing, crucial insights. But then you get into the meeting, you present, and you just get blank stares. Your data's perfect, but it's just not landing. Well, today we're going to fix that. We're diving into the brilliant lessons from the book Storytelling with Data, Let's Practice, to learn how to turn those numbers into a narrative that makes people not only listen, but more importantly, act.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with a real human problem. Just listen to this comment. My frustration in a single word: latency. That's not a statistic, right? That's a feeling. It's raw frustration. This is exactly the kind of pain point your data can bring to light, but only if you know how to find the story that's hiding inside it.
And that really is the central challenge, isn't it? We spend hours, sometimes weeks on this stuff, finding insights that could totally change the game for our projects or our companies. But then we just throw it onto a slide and poof, the message gets lost. The data is there, sure, but the impact is gone. So how do we bridge that gap?
Well, the solution starts way before you even think about opening up Excel or Tableau. The very first and honestly the most critical step is to completely shift your mindset. You need to stop thinking about your data and start thinking about your audience.
This is the question you have to ask. I mean, really ask it. Are you talking to engineers who live and breathe technical details, or are you talking to executives who only have 5 minutes and care about the bottom line? Maybe it's the marketing team. Each of these groups cares about totally different things. And if you don't know what they care about, your data, no matter how brilliant, is just going to be noise.
So how do you actually figure this out? It's not as hard as it sounds. First, just go talk to colleagues who've presented to this group before. Ask them, what questions came up? What made them lean in and pay attention? Next, check in with your manager. They usually have a good sense of the big picture strategic priorities. And, if you're really flying blind, just be strategic about how you structure your presentation. Give them the big takeaway right up front, and then let them decide which details they want to dive into.
Okay, so once you know who you're talking to and what makes them tick, you're ready to actually build your narrative. And the best way to do that is to use a structure that's been proven for literally thousands of years, a good old-fashioned story.
Think about your favorite movie for a second. It probably follows this exact path, right? There's a setup, then some kind of problem or conflict shows up, things get tense, it all leads to a big moment, and then finally a resolution. We can use this very same framework for our data.
All right, let's make this real. Let's use an example. Imagine we're tracking our Net Promoter Score, NPS. It's a super common way to see how happy customers are. So that's our setting, our plot. Our NPS score is the key metric for success. This is the once upon a time of our data story.
But now, here comes the tension. This is where the plot thickens. We dig into the data, and we find something that's, it's pretty worrying. The number of detractors, these are our unhappiest customers, is starting to go up. This is the conflict in our story. It's the problem that needs a solution, and it creates a real sense of urgency.
And you can't just leave them hanging, right? Every good story needs an ending. For our data story, the ending is our goal. It's our call to action. We can't just show up and say, hey, we have a problem. We have to propose a way to solve it. This is what takes our audience from being passive listeners to being active partners ready to make a change.
So, we've got our audience, we've got our story. Now for the really fun part. This is where we turn that story into visuals that are so clear they're impossible to misunderstand. And let me be clear, the goal here is not to be fancy. The goal is to be crystal clear.
Okay, this is such a simple tip, but it is an absolute game changer. Most people will title a chart something like NPS trend over time. Please, don't do that. Instead, make your title the one single thing you want your audience to take away from that slide. You're basically giving them the conclusion right up front.
Let's see what that looks like. The title here isn't just a boring label, it's the headline of the story. Detractors, nearly doubled since AUK. Instantly, you know exactly what to look at. Your eyes go right to those orange bars showing that alarming trend. There is absolutely zero confusion about what this chart is trying to tell you.
So we've shown the what. Our detractors are rising. But a truly great data story always answers the most important question. Why? So now we're going to build the narrative a little more and reveal the insight we found hiding in all those customer comments. And here it is. This slide is proof that sometimes the most powerful visual isn't a complicated chart at all. It's just one single powerful number. 1 in 3 detractor comments are about speed or latency. Boom. all of a sudden it all clicks into place. Remember that user comment from the very beginning? This number tells us they're definitely not alone. We found our why. This is the climax of our story.
And that brings us to the resolution. We identified the problem, we found the cause, and now we land on a clear, direct recommendation. This isn't just a vague suggestion, it's the solution to the tension we built. It tells the audience, here is exactly what we need to do next.
So there you have it. That's the whole playbook. Understand your audience, build a real narrative, and then design visuals that make your point impossible to ignore. Let's just boil this all down into a quick checklist you can use for your very next presentation.
Here it is, your cheat sheet for success. Number 1, always start with your audience. What do they actually care about? 2, craft that simple story arc, plot, tension, resolution. 3, use your visuals to guide their attention, not just show them data. And finally, and this is crucial, always end with a specific, actionable recommendation.
Now, this is just the beginning, of course. If this stuff gets you excited and you want to dive deeper into things like business intelligence and AI, the learning doesn't have to stop here. There are tons of fantastic creators out there sharing amazing content. People like Amir Honermand on YouTube, for example.
So, here's the bottom line. You now have the framework. You have the tools to turn your data from a boring spreadsheet into a story that can actually drive change. The only question left is, what's the really important story your data is just sitting there, waiting to tell?